Welcome. Today we shall be looking at adrenal gland disorders. The adrenal glands are composed of two parts, the adrenal cortex and the adrenal medulla. The adrenal cortex produces cortisol, which is a glucocorticoid, aldosterone, which is a mineralocorticoid, and some weak reproductive hormones. Disorders of the adrenal cortex include Addison's disease, Cushing syndrome, Cushing disease, and primary hyperaldosteronism known as Conn syndrome. On the other hand, the adrenal medulla produces catecholamines, epinephrine, and norepinephrine, and its main disorder is a pheochromocytoma. The hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, or the HPA axis, is a key hormone signaling pathway. The hypothalamus secretes corticotrophin releasing hormone, or the CRH hormone, which stimulates the anterior pituitary gland to release adrenocorticotrophic hormone, or an ACTH, and then this ACTH hormone acts on the adrenal cortex to produce cortisol. Cortisol then exerts a negative feedback on both of the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary gland, maintaining the balance in the system. One of the adrenal gland disorders is known as Addison's disease. Addison's disease is also known as primary adrenal insufficiency and is caused by an hyposecretion of adrenal cortex hormones. A common cause is an autoimmune distraction. Glucocorticoid deficiency can lead to reduced vascular tone, poor catecholamine response, decreased gluconeogenesis, and a mineralocorticoid deficiency causes dehydration, hypotension, hyponatremia, and hyperkalemia. This must be differentiated from secondary adrenal insufficiency, which results from a low amount of ACTH hormone that is produced by the pituitary gland and does not affect the mineralocorticoids. The diagnosis of adrenal cortex insufficiency, or Addison's disease, involves measuring of serum cortisol levels. A morning cortisol level less than 5 micrograms per deciliter suggests an adrenal insufficiency. An ACTH stimulation test, also known as a Nacton test, is as well used in the diagnosis. In normal individuals, cortisol rises, and in Addison's disease, there is no rise in cortisol. The second adrenal gland disorder is Cushing syndrome. Cushing syndrome involves a chronic and excessive cortisol production by the adrenal cortex or from external glucocorticoid use. The causes for Cushing syndrome include an ACTH secreting tumor of the pituitary, the non-pituitary tumors of the lung, the pancreas, or the gastrointestinal tract, as well as adrenal tumors or carcinomas of the adrenal gland. Exogenous glucocorticoid can as well cause Cushing syndrome. Cushing's disease, on the other hand, is a specific type of hypercortisolism that is caused by an increased ACTH hormone secretion from the pituitary adenoma. This pituitary adenoma is usually of the benign origin. Both Cushing syndrome and Cushing disease involve the glucocorticoid hypersecretion, but the sources of these are different. The diagnosis of Cushing syndrome and Cushing's disease include the dexamethasone suppression test. In this test, normal individuals' cortisol drop below 5 micrograms per deciliter, and in patients with Cushing's disease, cortisol remains elevated. The 24-hour urine-free cortisol level is also measured, where a normal range is between 20 to 90 micrograms per 24 hours. Any levels above 100 micrograms in 24 hours indicate a presence of hypercortisolism. When performing an assessment on patients with Addison's disease, there are signs of adrenal insufficiency, including lethargy, fatigue and muscle weakness, gastrointestinal disturbances, weight loss, menstrual changes or impotence, and lab findings may include hypoglycemia, hyponatremia, hyperkalemia, and hypercalcemia. Patients with Addison's disease may also present with hypotension and skin hyperpigmentation that is usually in the primary disease. This hyperpigmentation will produce what we call a bronzed skin. In Cushing syndrome and Cushing's disease, the common findings include a generalized muscle wasting and weakness, presence of a moon-like face, a buffalo hump, truncal or central obesity, supraclavicular fat pads, and other features include weight gain, hirsutism, hyperglycemia, hypernatremia, hypokalemia and hypocalcemia, hypertension, fragile skin that is easy to bruise, and a reddish-purple striae on the abdomen and the upper thighs. An Addisonian crisis is an acute adrenal crisis that is life-threatening due to sudden adrenal insufficiency. It can be triggered by stress, infection, trauma, surgery, or even an abrupt withdrawal of corticosteroids. This adrenal insufficiency results in severe electrolyte imbalances and hypovolemic shock. Electrolyte imbalances that are experienced in patients with Addisonian crisis are hyponatremia and hyperkalemia. Some of the assessment findings in Addisonian crisis include severe headache, severe abnormal leg and lower back pains, generalized weakness, irritability and confusion, severe hypotension, shock, hypercalcemia, abdominal pain, loss of appetite. We have dizziness and lethargy. What are the nursing intervention for patients with Addisonian crisis? You need to prepare to administer high-dose hydrocortisone replacement intravenously as prescribed, administer intravenous fluids as prescribed to replace the fluids that are lost and to restore electrolyte balance, and following a resolution of the adrenal crisis, you need to administer glucocorticoids and mineralocorticoids orally as prescribed. A close monitoring of vital signs, neurological status, fluid intake and output, and lab value monitoring, particularly sodium, potassium, and blood glucose levels. Patients should remain on bed rest in a quiet environment, and we need to protect them from infection. In Addison's disease, the vital signs, particularly for hypotension, weight loss, and intake and output of fluids, you monitor white blood cell levels, blood glucose levels, potassium, sodium, and calcium levels. Administer glucocorticoid and or mineralocorticoid medications as prescribed. You need to observe for Addisonian crisis that is caused by stress, infection, trauma, or surgery. In client education, clients need a lifelong glucocorticoid and possibly mineralocorticoid replacement, where doses may need to be adjusted during stress. Patients should avoid infection exposure, strenuous activity, over-the-counter medications, and should follow a high-protein, high-carbohydrate diet. Supplements for calcium and vitamin D may be needed, and clients should wear a medical alert bracelet and know how to recognize the signs of hormone imbalance. In case of Cushing syndrome and Cushing disease, monitoring of vital signs and lab values, particularly blood pressure, glucose levels, and electrolytes, is key. You need to prepare these patients for radiation therapy if the cause is a pituitary adenoma, and administer chemotherapy if it's due to an inoperable adrenal tumors. These patients may need surgery to remove the pituitary tumor if the condition results from increased pituitary secretion of ACTH hormone. Patients may also require adrenalectomies if caused by an adrenal adenoma. A lifelong glucocorticoid replacement might be necessary. Track the patients on dose adjustments during stress, assess for postoperative thrombus risk, and provide an emotional support for body image concerns.